minutes ago, but this will last until about 9:30. I want to quickly get into kind of our velocity scan because something interesting that we are seeing that we haven't seen in the storms before is that we're seeing a little bit of possibly what could be some debris. Now, there are no reports of a tornado on the ground, but we do have that broad rotation across the region. But when we see this on correlation coefficient, when we see that tight rotation, there is the possibility that it is picking up some type of debris and displaying that on our radar. And you could see within this region here, we're definitely seeing those greens and those reds very tight across the area. And to put it in Dante's words, we've kind of seen this rippling effect of these couplets just kind of popping up right around 71 to the east of that throughout the evening, and that has led to several tornado warnings throughout the night and some severe thunderstorm warnings as well. But again, we're watching out for this one right now in Holmes and Wayne County. So I want to put the radar back on for you so you could see exactly where we're talking about. So Shreve was one area where we really saw that kind of tight rotation. So there is the possibility that we saw that within the region. Right now we're seeing the system in a whole continuing to push off to the south and to the east slightly. And if we put a track on this for you, you can see this will continue moving right around 30 miles per hour. And if we extend this out, it'll continue moving towards Walnut Creek right around 9:20. Millersburg right around 9:08, and then even Beach City right around 9:23. So if you're within that vicinity, if you're within that tornado warning in Holmes and Wayne County, you definitely want to be in your safe spot. You want to make sure you are in the center of your home. A basement is probably the best place to be, but make sure you are taking cover and also providing protection from some of these strong winds and also the possibility of some of that rotation that we've seen throughout the evening. Giving you a kind of a broader look at our radar, we have had several severe thunderstorm warnings. A lot of them were set to expire, but as we zoom out, you can see still dealing with plenty of rain and some frequent lightning. Turning our lightning on, it is just a light show, especially south of the Worcester area, moving into Ripley, south of Mansfield, really dealing with this intense line and even bringing us a little bit farther up to the north. Folks just south of Aurora, south of Parkman, really dealing with a thunderstorm there. Let's go back to our main radar to take a look at some of these watches and warnings that we have. Bringing it back down to that tornado warning. Take off the storm tracks. You can see this does include Ripley, even though I will say that's continuing to move out of your region. Still stay in that safe zone, but if you are in Ripley, you probably have about 10-15 minutes, and then that'll continue to move off to the east. But for now, while you're in that tornado warning, still stay in that safe zone. Shreve, you're still dealing with heavy rain, but the system is pushing off to the south and east. Holmesville, Paint Valley, also seeing some of that heavy rainfall, frequent lightning, and damaging winds. And even if we aren't seeing that confirmation of rotation, we're definitely dealing with some very strong wind gusts. We've seen wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour tonight, and that could definitely lead to some trees down. We saw some reports of that earlier, and we also have had some large branches also down as well. Just looking over a few of our storm reports tonight. But if you're just joining us, thank you for hopping on this evening. We are tracking a tornado warning again for Holmes and Wayne. That'll expire at 9:30. So have about 20 minutes to go until this warning moves out of the area, or if we see if that progresses. Putting on our velocity scan, you can see a bit of, let me grab this pointer here so I can point this out for you. So right here, just south of Salt Creek, seeing a little bit of that rotation, the reds, the greens when they mix together. That is the possibility that we could see a wall cloud or a funnel cloud possibly, where we are seeing the possibility of some rotation within the region. Zooming in a bit more just north of Holmesville, that if it continues to move off to the south and east, that will be a bit closer towards Mount Hope and even Salt Creek. So definitely make sure you are in that safe spot. Fredericksburg, you're very close to that. If you live near Harrison Road, you're definitely within that vicinity, maybe even hearing some of that heavy rain or even wind gust along your roof. Earlier this evening, if you joined us, we did have a severe thunderstorm watch stretching across most of the region. This will expire right around 11 o'clock tonight, but as you can see, some of our counties just off to the west have set to expire already. I assume we'll continue to see this kind of filter through and drop as we head into the next few hours as this line continues to move out. So let's talk about what builds some of these tornado warnings that we see. So we talk about SLIM. These are the ingredients. We need them all in place to be able to see the possibility of one of those tornado warnings. Now, shear is one of the first things we look for. That is the turning of winds with height. So you need different speeds, different heights into the atmosphere. Also lift, so a frontal boundary, low pressure. Earlier, Andre and Dante were talking about this cold front that moved in. That helped lifted some of those severe storms and even a few of those tornado warnings. This is the second of the evening. Instability, it was a hot and humid day, very oppressive out there, so we definitely had that. And then the moisture, the high dew points. We had dew points into the 70s earlier this evening, definitely leading to a few of the warnings that we're seeing tonight. Let's bring it back home where we do have this tornado warning. Again, that will last until 9:30 for homes in Wayne County. I want to put a track on this for you before we jump off here. So this will continue to move off to the south and east at 30 miles per hour. I wanted to put it right where we're seeing some of that rotation on our velocity scan. So if we continue to track this, if it continues to hold together, we will see that closer towards Bunker Hill at 9:21, Bars Mills right at 9:32, and then also Dover City Park at 9:41. See if we have any updates from the National Weather Service. No updates as of yet, but we did have that tight debris signature in Shreve. That is where the possibility of some debris being picked up. Again, no confirmation of a tornado, but it is possible that we did have some rotation. And we've kind of been in and out of, we had a tornado warning earlier near the Mansfield area, and now we're seeing this. It's kind of all part of the same system as it moves off to the east. Just seeing these velocity scans, these couplets continue to bubble up. Right now we are taking a look at this latest velocity scan just south and near the area of Fredericksburg. So if you're in that region, there's the possibility that we could see some of that rotation. Again, I want to put a track on where we're seeing some of that rotation moving off to the south and east. Mount Hope and Trail, you will be there. All right, let's zoom back out again to, I know a few folks on here may be joining from other places. If you're not in homes in Wayne County where that tornado warning is, I want to show you where we are also seeing some other stronger storms this evening. So zooming out, here's the line. This is all ahead of a cold front that will move through. I wish I could say it would bring some cooler weather along with it, but unfortunately we're going to stay pretty warm throughout the week. But even stretching up throughout parts of Worcester, you're now in the clear as this system pushes off to the south. But Beach City, you are next. You're with some of this heavier rain and frequent lightning. And ahead of this area, there is a possibility that we could see some straight line wind damage along this gust front right here. So right where you're seeing kind of the end of that green where it's transferring into blue, there's the possibility that we could see some stronger winds. Right now, winds seem to hover right around 40 to 60 miles per hour, but there's the possibility that maybe you get a gust or two that are a bit stronger. Let's head up north. Canton, you're about to see some of that heavier rain move into your region. North Canton, just some light showers, maybe a rumble of thunder or two, but it seems like you are starting to see that system fizzle out. And then if we jump up to the north, you can just see how patchy this line has been, and that's kind of the case throughout the night. We've seen isolated strong to severe storms throughout most of the evening, and right now this one is about to push into Newton, and we don't have a warning with that, but could contain some gusty conditions that will also push a little bit closer towards the Warren area as well. Again, this moving off to the south and east. So just for those folks up that way, let's put a little bit of a track on that for you. That'll continue to move towards Niles and then even Austintown right around the 9:30 time frame, and then starting to push a bit closer towards the Pennsylvania border. I'd say a good time frame to be weather aware is up until about 11 o'clock tonight. That is when the severe thunderstorm watch, which we saw a few moments ago, will expire and that threat is over. Right before we leave, seems like we are getting an update. Okay, so they are going to continue that tornado warning for homes in Wayne County till 9:30. Their latest update from the National Weather Service, so kind of in coordination with them, says a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Holmesville or 7 miles northeast of Millersburg, moving east at 30 miles per hour. So before we let you go for the evening, want to take you down that way to show you that tornado warning. So let's jump back to that. Oh, before we get there, let's talk about some of the hail that we saw. I know Dante was pulling this up earlier, and there's a possibility that we saw a few places of some smaller hail, but it does seem like most places were free of that larger hail. Do have a nice little cluster just south of Millersburg, and that is where we are seeing that tornado warning continue. So getting back to that, let's drag you down this way. You can see that box is updating. Again, this is where they are seeing the possibility of a thunderstorm producing a tornado near Holmesville and also just 7 miles northeast of Millersburg. In that tornado warning, that will last until 9:30. Let me take these storm tracks off for you. Here is where we're seeing that. Let's get a look at the velocity. And yes, a very broad rotation. We've kind of seen the system fall apart a bit. So I would hope that by 9:30 we could see this warning expire as the rotation not looking as impressive as it did when we, looked at it a few moments ago. So still watching out for the possibility of that. But again, even though if we do see these storms weaken, you still want to stay in that safe zone at least until 9:30. So watching out for that time frame. Let's pop that tornado warning box back up for you. And zooming in a bit, it does seem like they are now putting a severe thunderstorm warning just ahead. Sometimes they do that when they are about to expire a tornado warning. They'll put a severe thunderstorm warning in place of it because the storm still packs a good punch and still brings some destructive wind speeds, even brings some torrential rainfall. So we'll have to see if they have any plans for changes there at 9:30. But again, there is now a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of New Philadelphia, Bucks Mill, even parts of Strattsburg. And then this tornado warning is set to officially expire at 9:30. Turning the tracks off for you. Again, seeing the most intense part of the storm near the Millersburg area, near Holmesville as well. So let's put a bit of a track on this part of the storm. We'll push this out. And you can see it'll be closer towards Walnut Creek right around 9:29, and then closer towards Union Valley School at 9:34. We will bring you another update if needed. If we continue to see this tornado warning extended, we'll make sure to provide you some type of update. But again, stay in that safe spot until at least 9:30, and we'll have more updates coming up at 10 p.m. But stay safe, and again, this tornado warning expires at 9:30.